Run Your Story family, this is Allison Gilliard with Run Your Story, where every story needs to be heard. And I am so excited for you guys to meet Dave McDonald. We actually met after he became Patreon supporter, so I had no idea who he was. And we follow each other on social media and Strava, and he's such an encouraging spirit, not only for our running community, but for his family. And you guys are going to hear some of the coolest stories, some of the coolest memories, and also that his son runs faster than him. Such a great story. Absolutely love that. Also, he reminds us that running, we have to fit into our lives, not we have to fit our lives into running. And he talks about that balance. And I know for me personally, that hit home. It's a great reminder as we are runners, and that's not all that we are. It's not who we are. It's a part of who we are. And so I really appreciated that moment that he shared that, because it was so good. And oh man, I'm telling you, you guys are gonna want a pen and paper for this, because he gives so much wisdom and such great advice. And again, what an encouraging story. Kudos to the running community, because you guys do make us better. And as Dave also shares, he was this introvert, which is kind of hard to believe, because I've only known him as the runner Dave and who he is through running. And so it's really funny for him to share about how, because of running, it's kind of transformed him a little bit. And it makes us just appreciate running even more, because not only does it make us better physically, but also better people. And that's not something I thought about. So I thought that was really cool. So again, thank you, Dave, for this opportunity. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing this. And I'm just incredibly thankful to get to know you and your story. It was, wow, just so good. And guys, this podcast is made possible by Crew of Kindness. You guys have heard me talk about them. I share them on social media. I absolutely love Crew of Kindness and their mission to provide assistance and support to families with special non-medical needs to enable them to lead healthy and active lifestyles, while emphasizing the importance of inclusion and acceptance in our community. And they do such a fantastic job of that, not only with the Boo Crew Run, but also with the Mardi Gras Ball, and being at all the races. They try to make sure that adaptive athletes are represented really well. And if you've not gotten to talk to Delaney, you should. She is absolutely incredible. I love her. I'm such a fangirl. And I tell her all the time I could be her big sister, because, well, yeah, she's just incredible. So thank you for Run Your Story. Thank you for making this podcast possible, and for all that you do at Crew of Kindness. So thank you guys so much for that. And so guys, get ready, get set, and go run with Dave and his Run Your Story. Thanks, my friend Dave, for coming. So excited to have you. You're also a Patreon supporter, so I appreciate that.
Definitely.
And just all that you do for the running community. I love seeing your running posts and the pictures that you get tagged in. So we've recently gotten to know each other a little bit. So I really don't know your runs, anything like all these questions. So I'm really excited, pumped for that. So what is your run story, my friend?
So it started around 2018, was more of a health journey. Okay. I wanted to lose some weight. Just my oldest boy at the time was 1. I was just feeling sluggish all the time and tired, wanted to be healthy for him and the family. Started eating better, doing some light exercise, losing weight. After about a year, I ended up losing 70 pounds.
Whoa. Wow.
So it was quite a change.
Sure.
And I was looking for what would be my next health goal in 2019. So I'll start running. I'll run the Azalea Trail, the 10K.
Okay.
So started doing that, and it was going well. That was really the first time I ever ran. I guess in the past I've dabbled with it here and there, but I always gave up a couple days into it. Said, no, this isn't for me. So I was determined, and I was going to do it. Started that, like I said, January 1st, 2019, downloaded Strava, got me some shoes, and just started going after it, just a mile at a time. And then in mid-January, my best friend at the time, he passed away, and that was really tough on me. And running is what got me through it. Of course, I had support from family, friends, and everything, but it was something about running, being out there by myself, just being able to think. Was like my therapy through it all. So that kind of just emphasized even more this running part of my life. So as I worked through that, eventually the 10K came, Azalea Trail. It was probably the hardest thing I ever did at the time, but I got through it. Katie and Ellis, they were both there cheering me on at the end, and I was hooked after that.
Oh, that's adorable.
was thinking, okay, what can I do next? Of course, my third thought is I'm going to run the Mobile Marathon in 2020. It took some convincing, but eventually I got, as a good buddy of mine, Victor Stevens, said, I got to get my permission slip signed. So got it signed by Katie, and I started training for that. That was quite an adventure, training through it. Did a half down in Gulf Shores that helped me get through it in November, thinking it would be cold, but it was very hot once that sun got on you. January 2020 came. I did the Mobile Marathon, completed it. I was just happy to be done. That was good, and then from there it just kept getting worse. I just constantly wanted to say, okay, what can I do next? What can I do next? At the same time, though, I started to struggle with the balance of family and running. I have a very, I think, like addictive person. When I want to do it and I find something I want to do it all the time. That kind of would help me stay disciplined and lose all that weight that 2018. So I just wanted to run all the time. And it caused a lot of issues with me choosing that at times over what I should actually be doing, whether it's family, work, or whatnot. So I struggle with it still today, but it's gotten a lot better communicating more with Katie and everything. And I think that's one thing. I think it was Jim Mather hit on that when he did the podcast, was sometimes a good thing can turn into a bad thing if you let it. And that's definitely what happened with me. So I had to reassess there. Like I said, it's still a struggle. I mean, I love to run, but at the same time, I have to look and put everything in perspective. So with that, I still want to do something big. So COVID happened, got sent home to work. And with some of the downtime, I hop on YouTube, and all of a sudden I see this trail running.
Oh, okay.
I see 50Ks, 100Ks, 100 milers. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not the fastest. I'm competitive, but I know I can run for a long time. So maybe I'll focus on that and see how that goes. So that was a thought, and I just kept watching YouTube videos and over and all the different races. Okay, let's try a 50K. So I signed up for the, first it was the Mississippi. I did the 20K one year and just fell in love with trail racing. I've always liked hiking and being outdoors and walking and whatnot. So I was like, okay, I like running too. Let's see how that goes. And it's grown so much in just the past 3 or 4 years. But I guess 2020, 21, it's still wasn't a whole lot of people doing it out on the trails, mostly by myself at times. And just being out there with nature and the quiet, I typically wouldn't listen to anything when I was out there, just enjoying that. I did the Mississippi 20K in 2021, and that was a great experience. That's a great race up there. I don't know if you've ever gotten to go up there. It's a lot of fun. It's wet at times. There's a couple water crossings. It's horse trails, but it's definitely a good time. So, and then 2022 is when I signed up for the 50K. And so I was start training for that. And that was my first ultra. So it was an incredible experience. It was hard. My dad actually got to go up there with me, so he did a great job of driving me up there and back, and then spent the hours just sitting there, which he likes being in the woods as well. Either way, it was tough. I finished it, and immediately, I won't say immediately. I think right after I was thinking, there's no way I'm ever doing anything like this again. I'm glad I did it, but man, that was a lot of work, and it was tough. Maybe a day or two later, it was okay. Let's try the 50 miler next year. That was leading into, I guess, this year, 2023. I did a 50K preparing for that, the Bear Bait 50K in Florida, which is another great race. Tons of roots. You will fall I did at least. So that was great. And then I finally got to do the 50 miler this year, and that was really the first big race that Katie came with me to, which was huge. The support I had from her as we went through it. It was just a great time. They also added the 100 miler that year. So I had a couple of friends out there doing the 100 miler. Lance Johnson was out there, and then another buddy of mine, Logan Elliott. It was his first 100.
Wow.
And I think they started, the noon the day before on a Friday, and we started that Saturday morning. And I think I ran into him about mile 50, and I was like, "This is about the only time I can outrun you here." So me and Logan got to put in some miles together, because he's super fast. But that was enjoyable. It was definitely something I want to do again. Of course, when I was done, I was like, "No way, I'm not doing this again. This is too much." But it was an incredible experience. Also, this past year, I got to do the Azalea Trail Run with my brother. He's really not a runner. In fact, funny, he had signed up for it. He got me to sign up for it with him and said, "We're going to do it." And call him out here. I think he might have done 3 or 4 runs in January and just like, I'll be okay. We'll get it done come March. So we did.
Yeah.
And that was really the first time I've ever ran with somebody else, really not concerned about my goals or what I was trying to achieve, just trying to help him get through it.
Yeah.
We were running intervals, and so I think with that, I've really come to enjoy doing that as well. I still have all my goals I want to do personally, but as well as I think this next Azalea Trail, Katie's going to run it, so I'm going to help her out and go through it as well. I think she won't have a problem with it at all. She's actually she's going to do the Battleship 12K in November. I'm doing that one as well, but I think for that one she has some friends, so I'm going to do my own thing. But with the Azalea Trail, each year I want to find somebody in the family or whatnot, or somebody that wants to do it, and with the 5 years now of experience that I have, 4 years, help people achieve that goal that want to achieve it. So I think I have a little bit of offer from that aspect, so that's been a good time. I also had the 2-miler this year. The whole family did it. Got to run with my oldest Ellis doing that, and that was a whole lot of fun. It's funny. I think I had this as one of my favorite memories, but we can get into it now. So towards the end, I'm like, all right, go Ellis, you can go do your thing and stay behind. So of course he crosses first, and the rest of the day he'd be talking to people, and I beat my dad. Like, hold on, you didn't, not quite. I'd let him have it for a day or so. After that, I'd remind him, come on now.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That was a good time, but that kind of leads me up to today. It's been quite a journey, lots of ups and downs, but I think overall running has brought to my life a balance that I don't know I've quite had in the past. Katie might disagree. I think it's made me a better communicator with things. So I could just go on and on about the different ways that it's impacted my life for the positive and the negative at times, but it's really gotten me through a lot. I guess that's my run story.
I love that. And I think the first time we met at Trail, you had your son with you. And I was like, that is so cool. Like, I love seeing the pictures and how you're carrying that legacy to him. And I mean, that memory for him, he'll always remember, I beat my dad at that race.
Be the last time, but he'll remember it. I love getting out there with him. That's something we've tried to start, especially now that Katie's gotten into running more, is on the Wednesdays going to the trail every Wednesday that Steve, Taylor, and Catherine put on. It's done so much, especially for the trail running community. I see so many, just in the past 2-3 years, so many more people than I would have seen in the past out there. And it's a great introduction for anybody that wants to get out there and do it. Most of the time we get out there on Wednesdays, and if it's me and Ellis, we'll do run and walk. I had both boys while Katie ran, I guess last Wednesday, and we just walked it. So if you want to run, you want to walk, just go out there and do it. It's a lot of fun. And
the trails there are great. It's like you said, it's a great, and it's like wide enough that you can have multiple people. It's a great area for sure. I also love that you and Katie are going to be doing Battleship 12K, but not together. That's my husband and I right there. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm so excited because this will also be his first 12K.
Okay, cool.
But I'm like, he's training really hard, and I'm like, I'll find somebody to run with. It's cool. And I love that something that you've gotten to experience is that you're like, yes, I like that time alone, but now I also see that I can give something back with others, and then they have this memory of their first race or first Azalea Trail with the great Dave. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. I think so too. I think it is.
I love that. That's so neat. So let's talk about some lessons that you've learned from running.
All right, so probably the biggest lesson I've learned is how much of a mental aspect there is to it, not to listen to, when I was in high school, when my football coach would say, don't listen to the little man inside your head. That's always going to be telling you to stop. You can't do it. That's just too much. It's time to end that. If you look, when you go through training plans, anytime training plans look online, I've yet to see one where it talks about the mental aspects, always run this many mile this day, or walk this day, do this that day. I think if you follow a training plan, you're going to get that physical ability to finish the race. Whether it's just a finish, you have a goal, but if you follow it like you're supposed to and know what you're supposed to do, you're able to achieve it. But the mental part, I think, is a bigger aspect. I don't know quite what percentage, but especially when you're doing really any race, but for me, the longer races, the 50Ks, the marathon, it's more of a mental battle to me than a physical. Your body eventually is going to tell you, no, you shouldn't be doing this. You need to stop. So finding that in your mind that physically you can do a lot more than you think you can, even though your mind's going to tell you, no, you can't. To just keep pushing through and to trust the process and know that I've put in all this work, I can get it done. Another one goes along that is just to keep moving. Whether you have to stop and walk, just don't stop. Keep moving forward. You're going to get there, and you're going to hit that goal or finish that race. And that kind of goes along with something I found. There are some exceptional athletes that just really doesn't apply to them, but you're going to get in what you put in on race day. What you put in during training is what you're going to get back. I think I've heard it referred to as your training is putting that hay in the barn, and then come race day, it's there, you're ready. If you don't do it, don't expect on race day to go out there and you might get it done. It's going to be unpleasant,
Yes.
but to be fully prepared and don't just go in thinking you can get it done without the proper training leading up. And then for me, one of the biggest lessons learned is just putting myself out there. Even doing something like this is something I'd never would imagine I would ever be doing. But I've made so many good friends from running. I mentioned Victor, Julius Lunsford, Bradley Thompson. We all have a group chat, keep going, and we'll go back and forth talking about different running things and whatnot. Steve Taylor, of course, Trail, and then even recently Lance Johnson introduced myself during the middle of the race. Hey, I'm Dave. So people I would have never, I went out and said, hey, this is who I am. I follow you on Strava, and now we're good friends, talk and whatnot. Just blows my mind that, and I tell Katie, you did what? Well, yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but here I am. So put yourself out there, and everybody I've met has been so amazing and great. So you're really such a good community.
Absolutely. And I think that's the thing that I love about the running community is that there's no such thing as oversharing.
Yeah.
So it's like we talk about all things. You never know what kind of conversation you're going to literally run into with people. And I love that. That's just so cool about this transformation that not only physically for you, but also, hey, I want to be a part of this community. And so kudos. That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah. So I want to know, what is your favorite race and why?
I believe I enjoyed all of them, thinking back on it. At the time, maybe not so much, but I would have to say my favorite. Also, I've had a lot of races this year. It's been a really good year, and a lot of memorable ones was the Peachtree Road Race in Atlanta. I believe it's the world's largest 10K. Whole family got to go up. It happens on July 4th, so we got to go up that weekend before and do that. And I love trail races. They'll always be my favorite race to run overall, but with this Peachtree Road Race, there's something... a road race support, the streets lined with people that you just don't get on the trails.
Sure.
And I think that's what kind of draws me towards the road races. If it wasn't for that, I probably would just stick to the trail. But so this Peachtree Road Race, you start up in Buckhead and you finish in Midtown, and the streets are just lined with people the whole time. It's amazing. Just the atmosphere was unmatched. Anything I've ever done, it was really my first big race. Where there's a destination race where there's tons of people. So I think that was my favorite memory. I'm trying to remember what mile it was. Maybe mile 4. The boys in Cater there, they had a big sign holding up, and I was able to find them. And it ends in Huge Park in Midtown, Atlanta. Got to meet them there. Katie's parents were up there as well. She has some family up there. Buddy Victor, he was running it as well. So we all got to hang out. It was just a good time in Atlanta. Good vacation, but culminated with this amazing race. I'm not sure if I'll get to do it next year, but it's definitely something I'd like to do again. Maybe get Katie to sign up for it and do it. We'll see.
It's something that I just had a conversation with a friend of mine, and that is just how important volunteers are. Because if it wasn't for volunteers, you couldn't have a race. I mean, yeah, we could go into the trails, but even at larger trail races, you have areas where you get to stop. And if it wasn't for your crew that was there. It really takes a village to put on a race. And then obviously they were talking about the Azalea Trail, how that's a race where we run through neighborhoods. And so people come out and they're cheering. They're like, hey, you want a mimosa? You want a beer? And it's like we really don't have that experience other than Azalea Trail. And that's so cool about Peachtree. I love that. And that's something that you soaked in was the people.
For sure. If it's something you get, definitely. It used to be a lottery. Now they've opened it up. I think they're trying to get the numbers. I think the largest they ever had was 60,000 people.
Wow.
That was pre-COVID, so they're trying to get those numbers back up. So now it's just a first come, first served registration. So if you ever get the chance, it's a great experience.
Listen, I don't know. I ran Atlanta back in February, and I was like, this is the hilliest place.
It goes downhill. There is, for the most part. There is one hill.
Because you got to get back. You got to get back there.
Yeah, there is one. It's a point to point.
Okay.
So that's the good part. There is one part that goes uphill, but as you start to go uphill is I wish I could remember the name of the center's place, but it deals with patients with different spine disorders.
Oh, Shepherd Center.
Yes, Shepherd Center.
Okay.
So they're all out there cheering you on.
Stop
it. How can you not just turn it on and get up that hill at that point? So yeah, it's...
Okay, you've inspired me. I'm going to check it out because
you got to do it.
I got to tour Shepherd Center when I was in college, and I just was blown away by all the things they do and the stories that they shared, and I was like, this is a cool place. So
yeah, it's amazing. It's, like I said, just seeing them out there and cheering everybody on. If you're lacking motivation at any point of that race and you see that, it's just...
That's
it pumps you up. And
yeah.
You fly up that hill whether you should or not. You might regret it towards the end, but you can't help but do it.
That's awesome. Okay, yeah, I'm truly inspired by that. Okay, something tells me you're a routine guy, Dave. So what does your pre-race routine look like?
Oh, yes, very routine. I joke sometimes that if somebody put a hit out on me, people know exactly I am at all times. When I worked in the office, it was... This day on lunch, I'm going here to do this day, I'm doing that. I have my breakfast at the same time. Yeah, it's bad. I constantly get made fun of. People still know, working from home, say, okay, you going to make your 3 o'clock coffee now? Yeah, I'm going to go have my coffee. So yeah, routine's definitely my thing. I've been referred to as a robot at times, but as far as pre-race, I like to get up early, real early before.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm doing the North Shore Half Marathon in Mandeville this upcoming Sunday.
I'm so jealous.
So it starts at 7. I'll be up 3 o'clock, 3:30.
Wow.
I am driving that morning, but either way, even if I was, I'd probably still get up 3.5 hours before, maybe even 4, just so I can have my coffee, eat. I like to just settle in for a little bit. I like to get to the race an hour to an hour and a half early. I don't like to run late.
Okay. You just said an hour to an hour and a half early.
You never know. I got stuff I got to do once I get there. Yeah, anytime I've told that, I think it was my dad when we did the 50K. It's like, we drove up the morning of, I think it's about a 2-hour drive. And he's like, what time does it start? 7. Okay, so what time when you get there? About 5:30. What? Like, well, yeah, we got to get our spot, be ready. I don't like any kind of... It has to be set exactly how I want it, or I start to get anxious. So, hour and a half early. Go do warm-up. Anything over a half marathon, I'm probably not going to warm up for because you really have the time to get there. But anything before then, at least a mile and a half, slow, warm-up, get ready, do some stretching. I usually will have some sort of snack there. I really like... It's the Nature Valley. They call them the biscuits, but it's like the almond butter with the cookie on the outside. That's usually my main go-to once I'm there. And I have Be Prepared here written down, so I'm definitely prepared. Make sure. I said I'll warm up, run, do a little stretch. I'll go sit back in the car, just zone in, get ready, and I'll line up probably 5 to 10 minutes before. I know some people like to line up even earlier than that, but just to make sure I have a good spot that I want to be in, so I'm ready to go.
Wow. So you really take that early bird gets the worm. You're like,
right.
Now I'm getting my good premium spot.
Exactly.
And I feel good to go.
It has to be as it should be. In my eyes, at least.
I'm surprised you never went into the military, Dave. Very routine guy here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is amazing. Okay. So cross the finish line, you're done. What does your routine look like then?
So we break the routine. I don't really have anything for
What?
Yeah. I don't know. If I have family and friends there, of course I'll go find them first. As far as I'll grab a water and whatever snack they have available.
Okay.
I do. The Port City Pacer races usually have cherry Coke, and for some reason I'm like, okay, I want some high-calorie, sugary Coke right now. I don't know why. Cherry Coke makes it better. So I'll have one of those. And really, that's about it. Then I just hang around. I will say most of the time I don't have a lot of time to hang out afterwards, so I will get to wherever I need to be, especially if Katie and the kids aren't with me. It's get there, do my thing, see whoever, have a good time, but let's get back to them type deal.
Sure.
Because those boys, they can be a little rambunctious. I don't want to leave them alone with anybody too long. So But no, Katie's amazing with that. But when they're there, yeah, we hang out. I don't know, a lot of people really enjoy the post-race and hang out social. Like I said, mentioned, I'm an introvert. I enjoy it for a little bit, but then it's, okay, I'm ready to go. I don't know, I need to do that a little bit more, get a little more into that, enjoy it. I do enjoy it, I'm sorry, I would say that wrong, to partake, I don't know. But yeah, so for post-race, like I said, it's let's grab some food, something to drink, a water, cherry Coke if they have it. Kimmy's Old Dutch, even better if they have that.
Huge shout out there.
Yeah.
100%.
I think last time I was at a race I had, it was the Africatown Bridge Run.
Okay.
Back, I guess that was May or June. And I just I almost wanted to like put on different disguises as I walked up. I'd get one and eat. I was like, oh, I want another one. Maybe put my hat backwards. It was like going to Costco.
Did you really?
I didn't really.
Okay.
I did eat more than one, but.
As you should, yes.
But that would have been funny.
You should. I'm going to need you to do that next time. And I'm just going to watch.
Go to the car, shave, come back. And whatever you got to do to get the ice cream.
Fantastic. Okay, what is your favorite running item?
Favorite running item? Probably my hat.
Okay.
Well, I have a few different hats, and I told myself I was going to look up how to pronounce the name brand of this hat prior to, but it's really popular. I think it's like CL or it's a French-Canadian company. But I have a white one I really like, and it's about worn out. The stickers on the front are peeling off. I have a couple other colors too, but I don't always get super ready for a run, but I want to make sure I'm looking good, got the hair looking good, and I just don't have time, so I got to put the hat on and keep the sun out of my face. I burn easily out there. I think it's kept me cool, and I think I look good wearing it, so I just keep wearing the hat, different hat each time. And then one other I'd throw in there, and it's different. I don't know, for me, if I have the time to run somewhere I haven't run before, I want to do it, or any kind of, if it looks cool, I want to go run there, even in Mobile. Sometimes I just want to go downtown and run just because it's different. I guess what my other favorite running item would be Google Maps. I love to get on Google Maps and just plot out. I was like, okay, I got the day off today. Don't have really anything to do that I need to get done till later in the day. I dropped my youngest off, Dean, at daycare about 6:15, 6:30. Now I'm going to go get a run in. So I'll get on Google Maps the day before and just start looking around. Okay, this looks cool, that looks cool. And typically it's not super anything different. It might be going down Dolphin Island and trying to run the island, or going downtown, but just something out of my daily, just West Mobile, same routes every day. So I like to get on there and just try to find new routes.
That is unique. I like that. Very nice. Okay, what are you running, my friend?
So I've dabbled in a couple different brands. I'm currently wearing Ultras, but those have really just become my everyday shoes I like to wear when I'm out. But Saucony has been, since day one, my go-to. Each day it's the Saucony guides, overpronate a little, so those help with stability. But really anything Saucony, even on the trails. I think I have the Exodus and the Triumph. I have a pair of the original Endorphin Speeds that I'm still wearing, because I usually only wear those for races, and not often I'm racing that shorter distance where I want to wear them, so I enjoy those. I would have liked to get a pair of the new ones. I recently bought and wore them for the Peachtree race was the Adidas Adios Pro 3.
Okay.
So it's like their carbon-plated racing shoe.
Gotcha.
Probably nothing I need for the speeds I'm running. However, they look cool and I feel good out there, and I think I'm going to wear them Sunday. So I've really enjoyed those. When I was working in the office, I just love shoes. I'd have different shoes wear the office. Now I'm running. I want to buy them all, which is not good.
Yes.
But I could just do a podcast on different running shoes, the different foam shoes, the drops. There's a subreddit on Reddit called Running Shoe Geeks that I get on, and it's bad. They'll send people find deals on shoes or sales and just start posting them on there. But just all the new technology and stuff coming out each year, I'm constantly like, okay, I got to get this shoe, got to get that shoe. And then I'm thinking, well, I have this pair of shoe I bought, super on sale that's still sitting here waiting to rotate in, and Katie's going to kill me hearing all about this, all these running shoes. But yeah, Saucony overall. I've had some Hoka trail shoes in the past and some Hoka like daily trainers. I've liked those as well, but I don't know, something about Saucony, it's just, I think there's been one pair I didn't like that I've had, but everything else just been a hit. And I don't know, it's easy. I just know I can go back to them. There are some really cool shoes out there I want to try, but it's hard to break away from Saucony.
I love that. I like that there's someone else out there like me that's, you know what, I'll try any shoe once.
Right.
Like, I'll try it. If I like it. If not, then you know what, I have a pair of shoes that I can just, for everyday wear, be like, you know what, I'll just wear this.
Yeah, that's what, I love these Ultras. Like I said, I tried running in them, and I don't know what. Eventually, if I went anything over 3 miles, plantar fasciitis pain. So they do great. I like running them day to day. I like the concept of the zero drop, but just for I guess my running mechanics and what I do, it hasn't worked out the best. But people love them.
Yeah.
Katie's running in a pair, and they just came out with a shoe that actually has a drop.
Yeah, I did read that.
It looked intriguing. I was disappointed they used some older foam. Rather, now I'm getting a little too far into it. They could have used their nicer foam. I don't know why they went that direction, but yeah, I'll get on YouTube and just watch shoe stuff all the time. What are you doing? I was like, they're talking about shoes. So it's bad.
Dude, that's amazing. So for your longer runs, how do you fuel?
So Huma gels.
Okay.
Makai over at Fleet Feed about a year and a half ago turned me onto those because I had been using goos, but I'd get that quick energy from them. But once I want to start and do ultras, it just wouldn't last that long. Whereas the Huma gels, it's not as quick of a hit at the beginning, but it lasts a lot longer. I believe it's like chia seeds and pure. I told Steve one time when he was doing his big walks, I got these Huma gels. It's what I say, chickpeas. Like, what? You're eating hummus? I'm like, wait, no, that's wrong. It's chia seeds. So yeah, the Huma gels, I really like those. If I'm doing an ultra, any kind of race, also Uncrustables, strawberry Uncrustables, love them. It's something I found out I can eat for 6 to 10 hours and not be tired of them.
Okay.
Not eating a whole lot. I'd have my Huma gel, and then if I'm doing a 50K, maybe 3 or 4 of the Uncrustables, just to keep those calories up. I've tried some other stuff, but my stomach just didn't like it. So I feel like the Huma gels plus the Uncrustables just sit well on my stomach. I will say, and you might know what they are. I've been trying to find them. Buddy Logan Elliott, when we did the Bear Bait 50K, I guess it was, January of 2023.
Okay.
He was done. He's super fast. But I think I still had a lap to go. You do 8 4-mile laps. So I was on the second or last 4-mile loop. And he gave me some of these little jelly, like caffeine, little, like gummy. Maybe not gummy. It was
interesting.
Like a jelly bean.
Oh,
they were red.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And he gave me a couple. This is like having 6 cups of coffee. I was like, whatever, yeah. And I put it, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I definitely needed it. And I got to ask him what those were all the time. I think they sell them at Fleet Feed.
They may be sport beans.
I think that is what it is, but I need to find those because I did like those. Try those again. But basically, it's Huma gels and strawberry Uncrustables, and then just water. I know I've tried the LMNT or the Element, however you say it. It's a little too salty for me.
Woo! I love it.
So yeah, I don't like to do that. So typically I just stick with water. Like I said, my Huma gels and Uncrustables.
That is awesome. You get done with a race. Is there like a certain meal that you're like, listen, I put in all this work. I'm ready to go eat this?
If we're downtown and the family's there, we like to go to Ruby Slipper and have pancakes. I love pancakes.
Okay.
I'd eat them for every meal. So I really like their pancakes, all the different ones they have. So we've done that a few times. If it's not that, it's probably pizza. It's like the perfect food.
Okay, yeah.
It's got every food group on it. It's shaped like the food table triangle.
It's technically a salad, but on dough.
Exactly.
Right.
So definitely pizza. I don't know, anything quick and easy. Yeah. But yeah, if we got all the family together, and like I said, if we're near a breakfast place, we're going to go get some breakfast and get some pancakes with a bunch of syrup and just ruin all that calories we just burned off. We're going to replace them fast and add a little bit more.
That's amazing. You should get a shirt that says, I run for pancakes, or I run on pancakes.
Good idea.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, man. It's the truth.
So you mentioned that when you're trail running, you don't listen to jams. But when you're training or you're doing road races, do you listen to music?
Usually not so much music.
Okay.
Podcasts, listen to good bit of podcasts. There's some run and shoe podcasts I listen to. Listen to this podcast at times when I'm there for sure. And I like soccer. Another thing I spend a whole lot of my time watching, listening to, and whatnot. So there's some good soccer podcasts I'll put on there. And working from home, I listen to a lot of podcasts as well while I'm working. So I just got a whole rotation of them, whatever going on there as I'm out there. I will occasionally listen to music, especially if it's like a race, a shorter race.
Okay.
If it's out on the trails, I won't. There's plenty of going on out there. 5K, 10K, probably even this half marathon road race. I'll have some kind of music on, something upbeat. I like early 2000s pop punk type stuff that's fast paced. I've even been known to listen to K-pop just because it's so quick paced.
Okay.
Yeah, a little something out there everywhere. I've even listened to some yacht rock at times. So I don't know. It's just whatever I'm feeling, but something has to be upbeat. If not, I'll start going backwards, I feel. But something that's just going to keep me moving. But daily during just training runs, it's going to be some kind of podcast, just something to keep my mind off of things at time, because sometimes those training runs can just not be fun.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
It's like, I really don't want to do this today. And typically working from home, all my runs are during my lunch. So especially during the summertime, it gets so hot. And it's just, I'm just going to listen to this, let somebody talk about running shoes for an hour while I'm just out here trying not to melt. So.
That's right. As my shoes are melting. Do you have a favorite recovery tool?
No.
Okay.
I do have a massage gun that I don't use as often as I should. The couch is good.
100%.
Yeah. Take a nap if I can, if I have the time. But that's one thing I would like to get better at. But about as much recovery I do is I'll do some really light stretching after I run. And that's about it. Then I'm moving on to the next thing.
Favorite cross-training activity?
Yeah, it's another not good. I love running so much, I don't want to do anything else. I just want to run. Like I guess hiking, out walking, just some kind of movement. I've dabbled with the idea of really wanting to do the triathlon.
You totally should. Go for it.
But I'm thinking, then I won't have enough time to run. And that's honestly, I'd have to get a bike too and finding somewhere to swim. There's a lot that goes into this. Kudos to y'all that do them. So Bradley Thompson mentioned earlier, he just finished his half Ironman up in Augusta, and just looking at his Strava and talking to him, this time he put in 50, 60 mile. I think he might have done an 80-mile day on the bike, and there's no way.
But they have smaller ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so Team Magic has one.
But I gotta go.
Okay.
Right?
Wow. No.
Okay. But honestly, I really would like to do the what's it called? The Fairhope one. The Grandman. That's one I would like to try out. Like I said, I like to get. I don't know what it is. I like to get those miles running. I like to see the big
You'll
numbers.
love that one because that one's a little hilly in Fairhope.
There we go.
You'll
I'll be
love
pushing
that.
the bike up the hill. I've told people that I know there's a big hill you got to bike up. So I'll probably be pushing it. So maybe I'll do it one day. But like I said, as far as cross training, I enjoy running too much and trying to balance my times. I just want to run.
Okay.
But it's another thing I should do more of, cross training and recovery. So don't take my advice there.
What has been a race that you're like, yeah, I don't think I'll do that one again?
So this one's pretty easy. I will say I did do it again. But, so maybe this isn't as easy, but for different reasons. So it was when I was getting ready for the Mississippi 50K in 2022, so last year, I was going to do the Bear Bait 25K as kind of a tune-up, just see where I'm at. It's in January, so it's 2 months before. Dial in my nutrition. I always like to have a race in my training plan on the calendar to do that stuff. Just like I said, know where I'm at, make sure my nutrition's good, see how I'm going to feel. But doing that 25K, it's four loops of the 4-mile course and routes. I don't know if you've ever been on the bike trails at South.
Yes.
The routes, it puts that place to shame,
Sure.
all the routes. And about 2 miles in, I rolled my ankle.
Oh.
And it was awful. I think people heard me all the way back at the place screaming.
Oh, no.
And like I said, don't take my advice on the recovery and the cross training. Don't take my advice on this as well. Stubborn me was determined to finish the race. So 2 miles in out of 16, I kept going, and it was miserable. I was able to like a light jog. I think I did like my time eventually, but it was, and this is when I went to by myself. I come home. I've been gone.
So you finished the race.
Yeah, I finished.
How swollen was that ankle?
It was bad. I think the adrenaline is what got me through. And like I said, just stubbornness. I put in this time. I got up early. I drove to Milton. I'm finishing it, and I'm getting, for what it's
I
worth.
paid for this race.
Oh yeah, what it's worth. I'm getting this. Yeah, I paid. I'm getting this medal.
What?
And I get home, and like I said, I've been gone half a day, and I get home, and I come hobbling, and Katie's like, "No, what did you do?"
She said, "Take that junk elsewhere."
Right? Like, don't think you're just gonna lie down all the rest of the day. No, you've been gone half the end, which I agree with, but it was bad, and I'm thinking in my head the whole, and I was out about. It was a lot. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. It felt a lot worse. I was down about a week, and then I was able to get back into running or whatnot. But my thought was, okay, this has happened. In 2 months, I have this 50K. At the time, what is this going to do to that race that I've been getting ready for all these months? And you're always going to have setbacks like that. And I think that helped me mentally as well. But losing a week of training in something I've never done before. Yeah, I've done a marathon on the road, but I've never done that 31 point whatever miles for the 50K. So it was, I was just thinking, why did I do this? So that was definitely more. And then the next year I did the 50K of it, and I got smarter. And with that one, I went out fast. I was like, oh man, I got a good chance. Looking at people's times from last year, it's like I could place in this and do something. And I went out way too fast and wasn't paying attention and stepped on that route wrong, and there you go. So you gotta, when there's all them routes, you gotta be careful.
Wow.
I know people have never fallen. I'm good for at least one fall a trail run if there's routes. So
wow.
I'd come home with all kind of bumps and bruises. But yeah, that was, like I said, I did the race again the next year, but that's my least favorite racing memory, I'll say.
Wow. Wow. Let's say that someone comes up to you and they're like, Dave, like, I want to get started running. What is a piece of advice you would give them?
Find some good shoes. Go to somebody that can get you fitted for shoes. Aaron at Run and Try. All the people over at Fleet Feet. I know many of people mentioned, forget his name, but is it Joe over at McCoy's?
Yeah.
At least definitely for your first pair till you can see what you need. And of course, and if you can keep doing it, keep buying from the local businesses as always. But definitely get that fit. Make sure you have good clothing. I guess some people could go run in a cotton shirt, but there's no way I can get out there and run in a cotton t-shirt, some blister-resistant socks, and make sure you feel good wearing it. If you look good, you feel good, and if you feel good, you run good. So,
okay.
I don't know if I just made that up or something.
I like that.
I think I've heard that before. Maybe not the run part, but yeah. I think Deion Sanders said that one time. But yeah, make sure it's something you're comfortable in and you feel confident in, because that's just part of that mental aspect of running. That okay, I feel good in this. I look fast in this. I'm gonna wear this or whatever you need to get you going there. Also, find a race or set a goal. Because it can be difficult, especially starting off if you don't have some kind of end point in sight. If it's just, I think that's what I struggled with years before, is I'm just going to go for a run today because I want to lose some weight or go. Well, that is a goal, but I don't know, for whatever reason, that never worked for me. It was, okay, I want to run this 10K now. Okay, I want to do a marathon. I want to do an ultra. So setting that and finding you a good training plan that you can stick to. I know I mentioned before, but trusting the process. There's going to be days it's just awful, and you don't know why you ever thought you could run. I think it was Trail Yell one time during the summer, and I couldn't even barely finish the 5K loop. It was so hot, and I'm thinking, how in the world in 6 months am I going to run a 50-mile race? But things are so different.
Yeah.
It's not at 100 degrees at that point either. But so there's going to be days you just doubt yourself.
Sure.
But I think that's where the training plan comes in, that you find one that you believe in and feel good about, and you just tick off them days each day and keep going, trusting that, okay, I might not think I can do it right now, but in 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, I'll be able to do it. I'm struggling with that right now. I've signed up for the Mississippi Gulf Coast Marathon in December with a goal of sub 4 hours. And it's something I haven't done before. I guess all my races previously were just, let's finish the race. I want to finish a 50K. I want to finish a 50-miler. I want to finish that marathon. Every race really has never been, I want to hit this time. It's just, I want to finish. So this is the first time I've had a time goal in mind. And the training is different. It's speed work, tempo, all different kinds of stuff, slow days. And as the time changed, it's been really hot,
Yeah.
but thinking, man, I can barely hold this pace right now for 5 miles. How am I going to hold it for 26.2 come December? So just knowing, okay, that's what the training's for.
That's
Just
right.
keep ticking those boxes off. And really the last one is, and I think I've heard this mentioned a few times on the podcast, is you're not going to regret the run. You might regret it at the time, but when you're done, you're not going to say, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Right.
But every time I've slept in, or any time that I didn't run just because I didn't want to, there's always going to be times where you can't because the outside situation, something comes up, you just can't go run. But on the ones that I could control and I just decided not to, those have been the ones that have been like, oh man, I wish I would have ran today. It's never been, oh, I wish I wouldn't have run today.
Yeah.
So I had that challenge recently. This past weekend, we all came down with a stomach bug in the house.
Aww.
And I've been trying to run at least a mile every single day this year. So come Monday, there's no way. And eventually that night, I was like, I can either go do this, and I was, 275 days in at that point. Do I just tough it out and get this mile done? It's going to be hard. It's probably going to be the hardest mile I've done all year. Are you going to regret doing that for whatever, 10, 15, 20 that it takes you to do it? Or are you going to regret the fact that I did this for 275 straight days, and all I had to do is just do one more mile today, and I didn't. Yeah, like I said, not having that regret, getting out there and doing it, trusting in the process, have a plan and find you a goal and a race in mind. That's going to keep you motivated and disciplined.
That is so good. All those are great. Wow. So you mentioned goals. So I'll be running the Mississippi half, not the full. But any other goals besides time goals that you have?
Yeah, but real quick, I know you were mentioning that race. Don't you won the ambassador or something?
I am,
So you have
yeah.
an inside track, right?
Depends on what you're going to ask.
Why do we have to run up that ramp at the end? So I did the half. December 2020, I did the half, so it's been about 3 years.
Oh, that ramp
And
is
isn't it
terrible.
awful?
Especially there. So
Couldn't we
when
just
you're
keep
doing the
going?
half, you're like, okay. And then it's crazy because the marathon, you keep going. And the
Right.
half, you're trying to, it's almost like you do this sharp curve because then you have marathoners coming by and you're
That's
like,
true.
I don't want to get in their way. But you're like, the legs are dead.
Right, it's
And
the
you're
last,
like,
what,
you're like,
mile
I'm
or two?
sorry.
So, yeah, it's...
As an ambassador, I have no control over that
Oh,
day.
well, that's the reason I came today, was to get that
okay, I'm
chair.
sorry.
And unfortunately, no. I do like that race. So that's cool. I love point-to-point races.
Sure.
I don't know why, for me, that even though it's the same distance, but you ran from here all the way to there, rather, okay, you did 4 loops here, but
Right.
no, I ran this far. So I like that aspect, but that race, that hill, and then the fact you can see, the Beau Rivage from about 15 miles, not 15, I only did the half, so let's say 8 miles away, and you're thinking, oh, it's so close,
So
and
close,
but
yeah.
it never moves, it just keeps staying
Correct.
far back. But anyway, as far as goals, like I said, currently, I want to run at least a mile every day this
Okay.
year. We've got about 3 months left. I think I can do it. It's definitely been tougher than I ever thought it was.
Sure.
So, oh man, like I said, you got sickness, you got stuff that comes up. It's been just as, and I keep going back to this, it's been just as much mental as physical.
Sure.
I feel pretty confident I can get out any day and knock a mile out. So it's that mental aspect of doing it, showing up every day and at least getting that mile in. That's been a couple days a week. I'll just hit that mile. It's been great too, because on that mile, typically it's like Mondays and Saturdays was my main days. I'd be doing just a mile. And on Mondays it'd be after school and the kids could come with me or Katie, and we'd push Dean in the stroller and Elsa run around. That's how we trained for the little 2 mile race.
I
Elsa
love
got there
that.
and we do our little mile. So that's been one great aspect of it. Then a sub 4 hour marathon. So we'll see how that's been in December. It's been, like I said, 2023 has been a big year for me as far as 50 miler, the Peachtree. Now I'm going to try to do the sub 4 marathon.
Wow.
So I hope it doesn't catch up with me. All that on trying to run every single day. It's been a little tough, but I think I'll get it done. And then future is I want to do a 100-mile race.
Wow.
I think that's like my bucket list thing
Okay.
to do. As I mentioned, they had the Mississippi 50. They added a 100-miler this year. And I guess bringing Katie to that wasn't the best idea because she saw those people struggle. Because the always idea, and I told her I want to do this, she'll no way. And then she saw all these great athletes like stumbling around, not knowing where they are, just being delirious after running. She's like, there's no way you're ever doing this. Nope. I was like, oh. So like I said, one day I'll get the permission slip signed. I think it's going to be way down the line. Kids are older,
Sure.
you know. But that I would love to do an 100-mile race. I think I'm scared if I do one and complete it, then I'm going to want to do it like a 200-mile. I think Barry went out and tried to do he did the Cocodona 250. Yeah, I don't know. It's a slippery slope, these races. So, yeah, we'll see. So those are my goals. So we got 365 days of running, a sub-4 marathon, and a future 100-miler. And then I guess also getting, like I said, doing the Zega Trail next year with Katie. I don't know just finding people that want to do it and necessarily don't want to do it alone, or maybe have never done it before. Mm-hmm. Just helping out and getting it done, because it's almost brought more joy doing that. Mm-hmm. Just seeing them cross the line, even though they're going to tell me later that they beat me. That's ridiculous. But yeah, it's been great. I think there's a picture of my brother when he crossed it, and and I'm just sitting there like, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love stuff like that. But yeah, favorite running memories. So I have a few. I think some of them I think they're funny. But I'll hit the first two. So I already mentioned them. The Zega Trail this past year with my brother. It was great. I think we did a 2 minutes run, 1 minute walk.
Yeah.
You know, just having a good time, enjoying it. I think that's one thing I can get sucked into as well, is on these races. I want to go as fast as I can, get it done, set a PR. But with this, I was just out there enjoying it, talking to him, get to soak everything in. So that was a different aspect than something that I typically would do. So that the Satsuma 2-miler with Katie and Dean and Ellis, that was Katie's first race, and she was pushing Dean in the stroller. She enjoyed that. Dean, he loves riding in the stroller. He's just looking over there, we're going fast. And then, of course, Ellis, that was his first race, and he was excited for it. I don't know what he's going to do next. He was, okay, this is good. I've done this.
Right.
Let's wear my Legos and my other stuff now. But I think I'll get him out there again. And then probably my favorite running memory to this date is the 50-mile race in Mississippi. Is towards the end. It's the last maybe 100 yards away from the finish line of finishing it. And I can't run anymore. My body's starting to shut down. I say all this thinking I'm going to do a 100-miler one day. It's amazing. But Katie's got the camera, and I think she's videotaping me. Come on, Dave, run, get that. I'm yelling, I cannot run. She's yelling back at me, run, turn. I'm just like, no. And it's just I'm just like, are you kidding me? I've done all I can. I'm walking across this finish line, and I'm sitting down. I'm not running. And she's, come on, run. You gotta look. She's trying to make it look cool in the video, and I'm just like, no. So I thought that was a funny memory. So.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't know if she thought it was as funny, but.
She's like, I'm waiting all this time
to
see you run across this finish line.
What am I going to do all day? It took me almost 11 hours to complete, and she's just, what am I? So. Yeah, kudos to her for sticking out. She likes the woods as well, but for 11 hours, you can only do so much, especially if you walk it. There's people running on there, so it's not like you can just go walk the trails and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she was a trooper out there, and for me to just let her down at the end by walking across the finish line.
Oh, that's so funny. You talked about the mental aspect of running and how important it is, and I completely agree. So when you're wanting to give up, is there something that you tell yourself? Is there a mantra that you have?
So me personally, no. It's more so not wanting to let myself down, or the people that, especially with fam, I've taken this time away to train all these hours, or I put all these hours in. I'm going to get it done, and I'm going to cross that finish line. I'm not going to give up. I put way too much time into this. Days that I didn't want to do it, days that I could have spent more time with the family or friends.
Sure.
So I think that's what keeps me going, just saying, you paid for this. Just stuff in my head like, you can do it, and just keep going type deal, because I put in the work and I put in the time. I'm going to get it done. As far as, I think one kind of mantra that really happened with Ellis when we were starting was he would jog a little bit and walk, jog and walk, and eventually he's, I don't want to do this anymore, or he would just stop. We got to keep moving, so we started using move with purpose. So I was like, what are we going to do? He said, move with purpose.
That is
and
so
just start
good.
Walking. So that's, I don't know, a mantra I guess I've adopted. I haven't personally used it in a race yet, but with him being that he's 6, he was 5 when he did the little 2-mile race, just saying, no matter what, we're going to keep moving. And we're going to have purpose to our movement. We're just not going to get out there and kind of just, this isn't fun anymore. Like, you're not going to finish until you cross the line, and we're not going to give up. Have purpose with that movement. Keep moving forward, and don't stop.
That's so good. I love that. Oh. Another T-shirt. That's what needs to be right there.
Yeah.
Move with purpose. Absolutely.
Merchandise.
That's right. What is your overall favorite length to run? Whether it's a training run or on the trail or on the road, what is your absolute, you're like, this is the mileage that I really like?
So I have one for training and one for
Okay.
race. I would say training is Sunday morning, and this is typically most of the year, unless I'm purposely training for something and the miles require more, is 10 miles on Sunday morning. I like to get up
okay.
early and start right around sunrise or a little bit before and get those 10 miles in. I think it's just a great day start to my day. I know typically, like I said, that 10-mile run just gets me going in the morning. During the summer, I do it down at the Holla at the Dollar that
Okay.
Aaron puts on, which is great. If recommend anybody that can make it out there on Sunday mornings to go for it. I know he said in the past that the PRs in the fall are made out there on those hills when it's summertime and it's hot and it's 82 degrees, 100% humidity at 6 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, that's what I enjoyed doing. I've recently, so I live way out in West Mobile off airport, and with my 10-mile runs, I've started going east on airport, back where everything is. So that's been fun. There's bathrooms and everything there just in case. And just seeing as stuff just comes to life. Like this past Sunday, I ran to the football stadium at South and back, and that was a fun little trip there. Like I said, that 10-mile training run on Sunday mornings, get up, usually I'll eat a donut, have coffee, watch some YouTube videos, and just get ready, prepare myself, go get those 10 miles in, and then just be ready for the rest of the day. Go to church, go eat lunch, go to my parents' afternoons. It's just part of that routine. On Sunday mornings, I got to get my 10 miles in. And talking about regret, those are the runs I regret the most. Those Sunday mornings when it's just like, I don't want to get up this early. So I sleep, and then it's okay, what are you going to do? When are you going to do your miles now? You can do it when it's hot, during the middle of the day, or just not do it at all. 10-mile training run Sunday mornings, and then for a race, I think I'm just a glutton for punishment. It is a 50K.
Okay.
Because I don't know what it is about having ultra in front of that name. It motivates me and gets me excited. I feel like that's the perfect distance. If you can run a marathon, you can put in those 5 more miles. So folks that have run marathons in the past, just keep going. It's just 5 miles. You already did 26. Right?
5 more.
If you got to walk it, you got to walk whatever you got to do to get there. You just have to move with purpose.
And move with purpose. I love it.
So that's that ultra that I think is super attainable. And I've enjoyed it so much. I get that feel of, okay, I'm getting those big miles and I have to hit that nutrition, and you got to strategize with it. So yeah, the 50K, I think I've liked a lot.
That's amazing. Wow. When you're not running, my friend Dave, what do you like to do? What are you passionate about?
I like to spend time with the family as much as I can. Right now, we're doing soccer up at Christ United, helping coach Ellis's team, so I enjoyed that a lot.
How fun!
It's a good time. Katie will do the T-ball, and then I'll typically do I did basketball last year. Basketball is a little too intense for me. It's a little different from the other sports, a little laid back. So I did soccer this year. I mentioned I enjoy soccer a lot, so that's been a great time. So yeah, coaching that. We love to go hiking. Each spring break, we try to pick a different state park in Alabama.
That's cool.
And go stay for a few days and go get some hiking in. The boys love being outside and doing that. Just really anything we can get outside and do. They have tons of energy, so it's always good to get that out. And then I also really like reading and watching anything like horror movies or horror books.
Do you really?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm into a little bit of everything.
You are.
But yeah, I have. And the reading more part started during COVID, but I've always, and I'm such a big scaredy cat. I get scared so easily. I'll watch it and then be in bed up, and Kay's like, "Why do you do this to yourself?" Because I like being scared. I don't know, like I said. But yeah, I love scary movies, reading books.
You're like, I will go run ultras and nothing will scare me in the woods because I've seen it all.
Those ones you got to do every night. Yeah, I don't know about that. I have a big imagination, but yeah, I love doing that. And then just watching sports, football, soccer. Baseball. Yeah, just trying to fill my time up with some fun stuff.
That sounds amazing. Dave, any final words of wisdom, my friend?
What I got written down here, let's see. Set a goal. We talked about that. Have fun and make friends, which is something that, like I said, we talked about previously. Never would I imagine I would be doing some of the stuff I'm doing, putting myself in type deals. Be emotional out there. I think that's something I found with the passing of my friend. It's okay to just let it all when you're out running. I've had runs where I just broke down. and just be yourself. I don't know.
Yeah.
Be emotional, do your thing, and get on the trails, because the trails are so much more fun than road racing, in my humble opinion. But finally, just get involved with the community. The running community as a whole is absolutely amazing. We'll give a little shout out real quick. Katie, she works at Causey Middle School, and she leads the Special Olympics team. So they're trying to raise some money for some jerseys, and she put it out there on Facebook, hey, and immediately Steve picks it up with Trail Yeah and puts it out there, and all of a sudden
awesome.
people are just coming in and sending it. So it's just like the running community is just so immense, and everybody wants to chip in and help.
Yes.
Everybody encourages everybody. It's so different from any other thing I've been involved in the past, where it's just like people just want to see others do good.
Absolutely.
And it's like we're all there for each other. So get involved with the community. I say that I should volunteer more and other stuff, but so far what I've dabbled in, like I said, I have not regretted one bit of it.
That's awesome. Thank you, Dave, so much for this.
Welcome.
This was
Thank
epic.
you.
I knew it was going to be good. Thank you so much. Oh, it was so good. Thank you, Dave, so much. So much fun. And again, all the t-shirts we want to make, because your mantras were also good. Your lessons learned were good. Oh, they were great. So good. All amazing reminders. And cannot wait to see your family running in all these races together. And from Battleship 12K to Azalea Trail, just an amazing legacy that you're creating for you and your family, and you're making the Mobile running community so much better. So thank you so much for that and for sharing your story. And I want to be a runner like you, Dave, like Run Like Dave. I think that's a new hashtag, Run Like Dave. So thank you so much, my friend, for sharing your story. It was absolutely incredible. And as always, thank you to Mars Hill Church for all that you do, for providing such a safe place for friends like Dave and myself to be able to chat and to share our stories. And so I really appreciate Mars Hill Church for believing in the running community, believing in Run Your Story, and giving us such a beautiful place to be able to sit and chat. Guys, like, share, comment. This podcast is so good. So good. You're going to want to share it. That's how our stories get heard, is through social media. And so I'm truly grateful for that. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys rock. You make things possible that I would have never even imagined. And so I absolutely love our Patreon supporters. You are the MVPs. And Crew of Kindness, love partnering with them. Go check them out on crewofkindness.com. Guys, be involved with them. And if you don't know how, go talk to them. They are some of the coolest people that you'll meet. And absolutely love Delaney and her family. And they are just absolutely spectacular people. So go check out Crew of Kindness. See how you can get involved, advocate, be a voice for them. Go run with them. Go play tennis with them. It's going to be fun. They're awesome people. And Gilliard Tech Services, he works his magic to make this podcast what it is, and so I'm truly grateful for him. He also keeps up our website. Anything that we need from the running community, he is there when it comes to all things web development. And he can update your existing one or build you a new one. He's just that good. So check him out online. You can also check him out on social media at Gilliard Tech Services. And so guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you to Dave for sharing your story. And as your stories now become a part of mine, and so when I go running, I take it with me and all the lessons that I've learned. So guys, get up, go lace up those running shoes, hear your story, because every story needs to be heard.